older Venetians are very superstitious. They will not walk in between those two columns, because during the days of the Venetian Republic, all executions and hangings took place in between those two columns. When you get home, rent the movie Casanova, starring the late Heath Ledger. Really fun romp through Venice, filmed entirely on location. Now, over here, coming up to the right, is like 3 buildings down from the Doge's Palace. The pink building with the green awnings is the Daniele Hotel. And Raymond told me today that they're going to be staying there. And that is one of the oldest hotels. It was a casa, palazzo, and it was converted into a hotel in the late 1700s and became very popular with the literary set and royalty. And then the new wing is off to the left, the Daniele Excelsior. You see the beige one. And then the white building to the left of that is a prison. Those are the Doge's prisons there. And you see a bridge. Well, all those people, and that's going to be you in probably an hour, you're all going to be standing there taking a picture up the canal, the Rio de Ponte, of the bridge of size, which is going to be in between. And that bridge of size links the Doge's Palace on the left to the prison on the right. And takes its name, Bridge of Sighs, from the lamentations of the prisoners as they sighed probably for the last time looking out through the bridge to freedom. But it really took its name in the 19th century when Lord Byron's poem, Childe Harold's Pilgrimage, came out and was published, and it stated, "I stood on a bridge, a palace and a prison on each side." So the Bridge of Sighs coming up, the Doge's Palace, the Byzantine Dome, the St. Mark's Basilica, the Campanile, the towers, the pillars, all producing St. Mark's Square. Prior to this, it was an orchard, a lighthouse, and a little church, and the nuns of the nearby Sankariah sacrificed all of that for now to make up the city's landmark. Great shot now looking up the Grand Canal, and you've got the Bower Hotel over there, the Westin Regina Hotel over there, the British Palace, the Monaco, all the high-end 5-star hotels all along on the right-hand side looking up the Grand Canal. And of course you see the elegant shallow draft vessels, and those are the symbol of the city, which are the gondolas all over. During the days of the Venetian Republic, there were 14,000. Today, there's only about 400. Now, if you look to the left, you're going to see the beautiful portico in front of the church of Andrea Palladio, the church of San Giorgio Maggiore over there, producing one of Venice's most beautiful neoclassical buildings. The triangular building that's at the front of the Grand Canal used to be the Punta della Dogana. This used to be the customs building with the globe there, the weather vane. And it is now the most modern art museum in Venice. It's the Francois Pino Modern Art Museum. The church rising up behind it is the Church of Santa Maria della Salute, the Church of the Salvation. And that will be on our starboard side now coming up. And we'll be sailing in now into the Giudecca Canal. But the story behind the Santa Maria della Salute was back in 1630. Venice found itself ravaged by a plague so severe that the Senate promised to build a church in honor of the Virgin Mary if she would or could save the city. Well, within weeks, the pestilence had abated, and on April 1st, the following year, the first stone of the Church of the Salvation was laid. And its architect was Baldassare Longhena. At the age of 32, he worked on it for the rest of his life. It wasn't completed until 1687, 5 years after his death.
Экскурсионная в Венеции. Мы обязательно сегодня здесь будем.
The Church of Santa Maria della Salute off to the starboard or right. The old customs building off to the right, and then just up from the Church of Santa Maria della Salute, you would find the Guggenheim Museum and the Academia Museum, all within about 5-10 minutes of each other. Up to the port or left-hand side, if you're there in our cabanas or on the back Lido pool area, you're looking right now at the Giudecca Island. The hotel is the Cipriani Hotel, 5-star property, the only hotel in Venice with an Olympic-sized swimming pool. And their little restaurant there with the, on the port, on the waterfront there with the striped poles in blue and white is Chippy. So the Cipriani Hotel located at the southern end of the Giudecca. And this is the Giudecca Island during the days of the Venetian Republic. And today still, a lot of artisans, artist lofts, older buildings that are being converted into artists in residence type buildings out here on the Giudecca. It was also an island that the wealthy escaped from the hot summers in Venice over here because of a little more open air, more gardens over here. But one of the most, if not actually the most important church in Venice is this one coming up on the left. And this was built in 1577, completed in 1592. And that was in Thanksgiving for the end of the 1576 plague, which wiped out 1/3 of Venice's population. And every year since its creation, the those who have gone throughout visit the church, crossing from the Zachary, which is off to the starboard side, on a bridge of oaks. The church is called the Church of Il Redentore, the Church of the Redeemer. And its festival is still celebrated on the third weekend in July. We were here on the Eurodam when this was all going on. And picture this entire canal, the Canale San Marco, all full of boats of every shape and size. The Venetians are out here and they're picnicking on their boats and drinking lots of Prosecco and partying. And then around 11:30 behind the church, a 1-hour fireworks display goes on. This is Venice's New Year's Eve and 4th of July all rolled into one. This is the local big celebration here in Venice. Very, very popular. The church again is designed by the Vincenzian architect Palladio.
И вернемся на Сан-Марко,
Beautiful
визитную карточку
style
Венеции.
there of ancient Rome, and it's a masterpiece of harmony and proportion. So the Church of Il Redeemer, or Il Redentore, to the port on the left-hand side. Up to the starboard or right-hand side, you'll see some low buildings over there. Those, it says on top of it, Emporio de Sale, the salt warehouses, but also salt that was in high regard. It was a commodity worth its weight in gold in the days of the Venetian Republic, and these were the old warehouses that were under lock and key during that period. Now Venice, the city that you're going to be in for today, or however long we're staying here, is built on a patchwork, as I mentioned earlier, more than 100 low-lying islands in the middle of a swampy lagoon. And to overcome these extremely challenging conditions, the early Venetian builders evolved construction techniques that are unique to the city, building with impermeable stone supported by large wood rafts and timber piles. And this method proved effective, and most Venetian buildings are remarkably strong, many having stood for at least 400 years. By the year 1500, the city had taken on much of its present shape that you're seeing today. Well, pine wood piles were driven 7.5 meters or 25 feet into the ground before building work could begin, and they rest on the solid caranto, or compressed clay layer at the bottom of the lagoon. Then Istrian stone, which is a type of marble, was used to create the damp-proof foundations. And of course, the piles are closely packed together. They do not rot in the waterlogged subsoil because there is no free oxygen, vital for microbes that cause decay. As you walk around the city, you're also going to find wells, and the wells were the source of the fresh water supply. Rainwater was channeled through pavement grills into clay-lined cisterns filled with sand to act as filters. And you'll see a lot of these beautiful wells all over the area. Bridges in Venice were often privately owned, and tolls were charged, I should say, for their use. And originally, none of the bridges had railings, so they were quite a hazard for the unwary and the drunk in the evenings in Venice. Also, you're going to see, as you have seen as we came in, some of the campaniles or the campaniles often lean, and that's because of the compaction of the underlying soil. As you can see, straight ahead of us is our port area. That's where MSC Costa Aida there. That's where we're going to be going into that area. That's where all the big ships go today. Maybe if you sailed in here in the 50s and 60s and early 70s on smaller ships, you docked over here, coming up on the right-hand side, where you see the smaller ship over there, and that is Venice's original port area. The building coming up on the left, the big brick building that you're seeing, is the Molino Stucky Hilton Hotel. Some of you are telling me you're staying there. And to the left of the tower there, in the weather vane, you see people hanging out over the railing. That's the swimming pool, the rooftop swimming pool and rooftop bar. So they're getting a good view of us coming up here, setting it through. This was an old flour mill, and you'll see a mosaic, a golden mosaic, as we just get past the tower here, in front of the tower. And there's a woman with a bag of wheat. So Hilton bought this property. It's an immense property, and they turned it into a beautiful hotel here. The main restaurant is on the first floor, and then it spills out onto the umbrella tables that you're seeing down below. And then a building next to it, now that we're passing where there was solitary tree, is the Mariano Fortuny building. Fortuny came here at the age of 18 in Catalonia, Spain, soon regained renown in physics and design and architecture, and also the theatrical design, and also he became famous in textiles and fabrics. And he was noted for his finely pleated silk dresses. They say they were so fine they could be threaded through a golden wedding band. Also famous for his beautiful lamps that you'll see around town. There's a store called Studium Veneziana, and they have these beautiful silk printed lamps and also glass lamps. And also the inverted lights that you saw with the umbrellas when our excellent photo team takes pictures of you on those formal nights. Those are an invention of Mariano Fortuny. So this is the original Venetian piers and port area coming up on the right of that ships that kind of skies and dock. Small ships there. In the distance, that is the industrial area, and that's Mestra, that's on the terra firma, or the mainland. And it's over in that area that you'll find the Fincantieri shipyards, and that is where this ship, and all of our ships in our damn fleet, most of them were all built in our latest ship, the Koningsdam, all built in Venice. And you'll see the Mestra shipyard when you eventually